are having conversation with my parents today, and it's a special, very special day for them. They've been visiting in the USA with us for about 6 weeks, and we finally were able to sit down with some coffee and have a nice chat. And today we have Janie Gant, um, my partner in crime, and then of course myself, Sira. I'm a dementia specialist, and my parents. I'm going to let them introduce themselves in a moment. And behind the camera, we have my other partner in crime, Josh Gervais. And we're just going to have a nice informal get to meet each other. And Josh may throw in some questions, and me and Janie is going to get to know my mom and dad. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves first.
I am Sira's mom. I'm very sure about that. Sometimes I wonder. And it's a privilege to be here with you guys. We haven't seen each other in a long time, and we are so glad we could come. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
And your name is?
My name is Susan. Susan in English, but in Afrikaans we call me Susan.
That's right, Susan. Susan.
Okay.
Or Sannetjies.
No, that's a special name.
That only
If
Daddy
my
gets to
husband
use.
needs something.
Not always.
No.
Now,
Special, only special times.
my name is Willie, and I'm Sira's father and Susan's husband,
Hopefully.
and I just came along for the ride.
And we're so happy to have you. Obviously, we said this is going to be a very transparent and relaxed conversation. And I asked my parents permission first and asked them if they would want to share their story with some of our listeners, some of the persons living with dementia that Janie and I get to interact with, some of our caregivers, loved ones, therapists, new and experienced therapists, everybody on the spectrum of walking the walk with dementia. It can be challenging, it can be overwhelming, and I just wanted to bring you a picture of joy and success and how I have experienced in the journey with my mom and dad how this is not a final sentence of despair or of um, uh, hopelessness, right?
Yeah.
It's not. But it certainly takes a mind shift, intentionality of how we live life,
Yes.
as far as how we choose to walk with this. I didn't know. Did you want to ask something, Jenny? I mean, this is the first time you've met
Sure.
my parents, so
Yes. So I have to ask you again. Would you tell me your name again?
Willie.
Billy.
it's like
Like
way.
Billy with a V.
Yeah.
Yes, with
Okay.
W.
Oh, but you say V for
V.
Yeah,
W.
it's
Yeah.
W I L L I E.
Really.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Just
Some-
never heard that name and making sure
Sometimes
I had it right.
they say William, but that's English version of Willie. And in some places, I mean, you had this a story of Willie the whale or something.
Mm-hmm.
television.
Okay.
And-
Okay. So were you named after Willie the whale?
No, he was named after me.
Oh. Very good. All right. So now you said that you have not been able to come here very often, Susan. When was the last time you were able to visit? Has it been a number of years?
Long time. In my mind, in my feelings, it's a very long time.
Very long
But I
time.
think it's about 3-4 years.
5 years.
5 years.
7.
7.
So the last time you guys were here was December 2016 through February of 2017. So it's been 7 years.
Yeah,
And yeah, and then going on 7 years. Yeah,
So
16.
the girls have changed a lot.
But we've seen them in between. We visited South Africa
Yes.
in 2018.
Okay.
So you've seen us 5 years ago, but you haven't
5
been
years ago.
here
Okay.
for quite a while.
Yeah.
So
You
bef-
were, they were with us on our 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Wedding anniversary.
And we went to celebrate, and we had a
Mm.
big party with
Oh,
family
how
and friends,
exciting.
and celebrated that.
That's very nice.
it was great.
Yes. We're having a little party tomorrow night,
Mhm.
celebrating the 55th anniversary. So we're
55th?
very 55th, yeah.
You're old, my husband.
Yes, I am.
And a
It's
happy
official.
anniversary. It's today.
Yes, today.
So
Happy
this is
anniversary.
It's a great way to celebrate, to just celebrate the two of you, and to celebrate. Now, June is typically Alzheimer's and Brain Health Awareness Month. So this is a great way to celebrate. So thank you for taking
So-
time out of your 50th
Yes,
anniversary
yes.
day to be here with us.
So I'm the star of this matter because I've got the brain health issue.
Oh.
We all have brain health issues, and we all need to be particular about the choices we make.
Yes.
But it's now too late.
It's not.
No.
it's not
Uh,
right.
Especially because you carry that attitude.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
speak for yourself.
About all having some level of brain health issues, right? So we talk about in Brights Memory Method about the lily, the daisy, the violet, the rose, the bouquet level, with lily being beginning neurocognitive decline, daisy is mild neurocognitive decline, violet is moderate, rose is severe, bouquet is end stage. Where was I going with that? What I wanted to say is that we
Rose.
tease and say, yeah, I'm a rose. So what I wanted to say today is that, or just wanted to say is that we tease sometimes that today's a lily day
Yes.
because we feel like we're beginning neurocognitive decline.
Well, and I often say we're all a little lily.
Yeah, we're a little lily.
That's a very nice thing. I'm also a little.
I mean, if you think about, for me, I remember a day in my younger years, I didn't even keep a calendar because I could
No,
remember
you
all of my
remember
appointments in my
everything,
head.
yes, yes.
Now I'd better keep a calendar.
Right.
So, things change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it changed when you started working with Sira. That's why you have to have a calendar.
I wanted to tell her, I said, with the amount of busyness that we have to keep up with, we better have
This
a
is
calendar.
true. My calendar is
We
much
got
fuller.
busier.
But I can't remember a doctor appointment day and time anymore in my head.
Right.
Yeah.
We
So-
make space in our minds for the things that's important.
Really important.
Yes, and you can talk about that.
Yeah. What is strange to me is I was a math teacher, and if sometimes I get a phone call and please help me, and kid comes on with his grade 12 math problem, and immediately I can help him. There's no problem. But I forget whether I close the door, the window, or lock the car, or whatever.
And you were advanced, so AP level for American perspective, so advanced placement math teacher. So you were teaching what we call in South Africa higher grade math,
Yeah.
but in America it's equivalent to college level entry math. So that was the math classes that you were teaching and monitoring, and so. But tell us a little bit about what you do when you really want to remember something.
I've learned to write down everything. If I need to go to the shop or whatever, or if I have to phone somebody tomorrow because it's their birthday, I'm not sure that tomorrow I will remember it. I have the external memory bank, which I use often. If he's close enough to tell him immediately what I now want to remember.
Right.
Otherwise, I have to write it down because I won't maybe not remember when he comes back in an hour or two.
Right.
It's a whole new perspective. I hated it at first. I thought, you're useless. But then I thought, well, I've had my time. I mean, am I 79?
No,
78?
not yet. I'm 79.
No, so I'm 78. So memory can go at that stage. I mean, to be fair, I've had a lot of time remembering. But if you're used to it, it's a shock to discover you've got this massive emptiness. And it's not of your own choice. I didn't do anything. I didn't drink or take drugs. Well, I did take some drugs.
You took
That's
Yeah.
for
medicine, right?
medicine.
In South
Yeah.
African, we talk about
Like
drugs. No, in South
medicine.
Africa, we talk about drugs, and so as medicine. So you
Yes.
were
Yeah.
on. So
Yeah.
that's actually a great segue because there are disease processes that lays the groundwork for how it impacts our brain. So tell us a little bit about your health journey, the things that you've struggled with and been treated for. If you don't, you can
Yeah.
only share as much as you feel comfortable
No,
with.
that's no problem. The worst thing that I ever health-wise got me was cancer of the breast about 10, 15 years
Yeah,
ago,
13 years ago.
13 years ago, which was quite a shock because we knew cancer is dangerous and whatever
Yes.
and whatever. And unfortunately, I had on my mother's side some aunts, I mean, aunts with breast cancer, and two of them, and both died as a result of cancer.
So that was scary.
That was scary, but then I prayed a lot, and I went to the doctor, and I went to the specialist, and I got treatment. They didn't have to remove the breast since it was early and only a knot with the gout. And I was teaching at the same time, so that was the worst of it because I have had to go every day for, was it for
6 weeks.
6 weeks for the bestraling,
Yeah, radiation.
radiation therapy. But my master was very comfortable. Well, they arranged it so
supportive.
that, yeah, supportive. So I taught grade 10, 11, and 12, which is the final years at our school. And he reorganized the calendar so that I can be in time for my classes,
Oh, nice.
which was very, very kind of him because it involves the whole school. I mean, it's not just me.
Right.
It's a whole.
So you structured the schedule of the whole
Yeah,
school
yeah.
so that you could be there because you were the only math teacher they had.
Senior maths, yeah.
For the seniors, so
And
they
we're
had to
in Komatipoort, which is the edge of the
world.
world in South Africa, next to um, Mozambique, right next to Mozambique, about a kilometer from the border point. Um, there were no math teachers available just coming to help. But anyway, so we got through it, and that year, in the final exam for grade 12, which is our final year in school, I got the best average in math than ever before.
Wow.
Because those kids knew they had to do something themselves.
Wow.
Because I was in and out and in and out.
Yeah, but the kids, the first hockey team, boys hockey team of the school,
Boys.
they, when Susan was without hair because she didn't wear a wig, uh, the next day they came to school, all their heads shaven.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And
Oh.
they stood with her and they wanted
And I was, of course, in tears.
a picture
Of
with
course.
her.
Oh.
Wow.
And that was very nice of
And
them.
that year, I got the best matric results for maths ever in
Yes.
my career.
Wow.
So,
Yeah. So if you have to compare, sorry, Jane, if you have to compare, oh, there goes my microphone. Got a real life recording here. Makeshift
Learning
studio.
curve.
At the time, the cancer scare for all of us was a big thing. And we all went home, all three children, and that was the last time we were all home. That's 13 years ago.
I'm not going to get cancer again.
No, for that. And we all came together and went to the hospital together, and was there for the
They were there
treatments.
for me.
Right. And
Hmm.
so, and at the time, it was the biggest health scare
Yeah.
that we've
Yeah.
had as a family and that you've had, obviously. And we talked about this in the car the other day, was so comparing your dementia journey with when you had cancer. So, what's your thoughts about that?
Um, excuse me. With the cancer thing, I got a great big scare. But as I visited the specialist and the doctors and the people and got the treatment, I trusted the Lord. I am getting treatment. I am going to be well. It's no problem. I took it out, the lump and whatever. Everything went fine. The dementia makes me feel hopeless,
Powerless.
machteloos,
Powerless.
powerless.
Yes.
Um, I can't control it. I can manage it to the best of my ability by my external brain. Please remember me. I must phone so and so at 2 o'clock this afternoon. If it is not there, I write it down. But then I have to take that paper or book or put it next to the coffee pot so that I can see it when I get there in an hour's time.
Good strategy.
It won't help to put it next to my phone because I'm not getting there all the time. You see, so I've learned escapes.
Yes.
At the first, I was troubled and worried and sad and thought left out. God is not good to me. Why do I deserve this? And then I realized that for all my life up to now, I've been well. Well, I had breast cancer, and that stopped. I'm well from cancer. I mean,
Right.
that's a big, huge thing. So why would I worry about my memory that is about things past?
Mm.
It's sad because I would like to remember some things, but it's not important for my living,
Your wellness.
for my wellness,
Or for your happiness.
or for my happiness in the end. Yeah.
So the things that you wish you could remember, when reminded of those events or times or people, does it spark your memory? You can recall some of that?
Yes, it does. I do remember some. Or I ask him, what happened now, Nick? So I saw the broken car, for instance, you know? And then he'll say, oh, it was the guy with, and then I remember the whole story. Sometimes, not
Like
always.
news stories. They
not
love news
always.
stories. And my dad shared news stories with my mom during the day.
Yeah,
And then sometimes you don't recall that in details of what the discussion
yeah,
was about
yeah.
or what happened to events with somebody. I would like to, Jamie, did you have a follow up? I wanted to ask my
Well,
dad something too.
I just noticed you've repeatedly remarked about how much you have nice strategies that you've put in place, but also the support you have from your husband. And then even Sira being here in the States, I know that she's been a huge support to you as well.
Yes, of course.
And with
Yeah.
her even providing
Also, all her
information.
plans and
Yes.
things and
So maybe just talk about that a
this
little
and
bit
do
and
that.
how that's helped you emotionally and with your outlook. How has all of that helped you?
Well, first of all, I was not a very well. I was a math teacher, so in some ways I do have structure.
Okay.
But in my
Very
general
nice.
life, I knew I had to attend this function or I had to do that, but I usually did not purposefully not organize my private life to such an extent that
Yes.
I have a program on a Tuesday or something that I always do or whatever. But when the memory started going, I had to a certain extent control when I want to do things, and I need to remember when I want to do it then.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to put in place
Structure.
my second brain,
Second
or
brain, I
if
love
it's not
that.
available, I write notes
Yes.
and put it next to the coffee pot. So
But that's
I see
improved
it
that's improved your outlook as well.
Yes.
Nice.
At first, I worried about it, but I was a math teacher, and then one day I thought, let me see if I can still do this. I taught grade 12, which is the highest grade in school in South Africa. And I took it and I could do it. And that was just for me an immediate relief.
Yes.
So I'm not completely gone, you know.
Your intellect is still there.
My brain hasn't
You have skills.
left me,
Yes.
but so I felt better about it. I'm not a teacher anymore, so I don't need to do it often. But just the idea that I could do it if I wanted to
Yes.
was enough.
And that's a great point because
Yeah.
even though you have memory deficits, you have so many strengths left.
Yeah.
Your analytical thinking, your sequencing, your problem solving. I could put the task in front of you. I have a great example. Daddy, it's going to be at cost of your image here. But we had to renew the visas a year and a half ago. And in order to renew the visas in South Africa, you have to submit the dates that you have entered and exited America the last time. And me and you were on the phone and you had to enter it on the computer, which also has been a change because everything is now digitalized. And you had to open up your passport books, which you travel a lot because you have children in 3 different countries. And you had to find the visa stamps, which anybody who travels knows when you hand them a passport, they do not chronologically start at the front and stamp. They open the book and they're going to stamp any page they get. And they can even stamp over other stamps. They don't care. So now we are looking for a date to enter into the computer the last time that you were here so that you can get a renewal on passports. And my dad got quite frustrated looking through the passports and could not find those stamps. And my mom stepped up and said, "What are we looking for?" And so I explained to her over the phone, and she took the passports. And I told her what we're looking for. I kind of remembered which months they were here, but we needed the exact date. So she was able, in the complexity of both passports, with all those confusing stamps, you were able to find the right stamps with the right dates, which demonstrated your entry and your exit in order to apply for new passports, which is a great skill as a mathematician to look and recognize numbers, to have attention span, focus, problem solving, and then come up with the right answer. So, in spite of the fact that you're living with mild neurocognitive decline, you still have strengths, you still have skill sets, and so you can still make contributions. So that I think what you were just telling us is how knowing and recognizing that you still have some skills and you still can make contributions.
Not to mention your value as a wife and a mother.
Right.
That doesn't go away.
Right.
No, fortunately, you don't have to remember too much of that.
How to mother.
It comes from
Comes naturally.
naturally.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's such good children.
Yeah, of course, and a wonderful husband, which I'm serious
Aw.
about.
Oh. So,
I do have a question in regards to that. For those that are listening, is that if they do have a loved one or themselves noticing early onset, moderate onset, is it looking at their personal story and their experiences, maybe the things that they did as an occupation or as long-term hobbies that reflect certain skills or problem-solving, cognitive functioning, tapping into that and then uniquely creating strategies to help recall and remember day-to-day type tasks. Can you speak on that for a moment? If that is because, as you were talking about being a mathematician, there are certain ways that we know high-level mathematicians think, how their brain functions, and how can we then take that skill and history and experience, build strategies around that to make more meaningful day-to-day engagements with our kids.
Yes, I've learned certain things I do not forget. Things that how can I put it? It's close to my heart. Things I
emotionally
like,
important, right?
emotionally
Yes, those
important.
emotional memories.
Yeah. But the ordinary things I tend to forget. For instance, when I was teaching, I had some kids come for extra classes after school. then I had to write it down in my book and keep my book on the table where I am so that I can remember they're coming, because it's not a usual, regular thing at that time of day.
It was out of your routine.
Yes. So I've learned, when I was still teaching, I wrote down everything that needs to be remembered in my notebook, in my diary. Now I'm lazy, I tell him.
Right.
And he remembers me.
Are you writing
It
it down?
reminds me. No, you got it.
So
Not
yes,
yet.
Not
we
yet.
we did buy. So we are trying to. My mom's obviously very independent. So is my dad, and used to be very independent and being able to fall back to your own intellectual ability to do something, make decisions. So I think it's a hard transition from somebody who is high functioning to now have a crutch. So, how do we frame that to your question, Josh, as where I had this ability to do high level decision making, problem solving, math work, and now I'm not remembering the basics. So, distinguishing between that I'm still intellectually able, but in order for me to function, in order for me to give the contribution that I want to give on a given day, I need to be oriented to what needs to happen today. I need to remember I need to call certain people and I have certain tasks that has to be done at a certain time. So when I use devices or strategies such as a memory book, a calendar, it's not a crutch, it's not a weakness, it is not a step down from where I was functioning. It's just a tool to improve my quality of life. So, how can we then reframe to our loved ones and to our persons living with dementia that I am not, that the suggestions and the interventions and the recommendations are not crutches, that are there for you to overcome a particular barrier in order for you to have quality of life, to still be involved with the things that you choose to be involved in because you still have those strengths.
Yes.
But you have to remember and you have to be oriented to when certain things need to happen so that you can be present in the moment and do well.
Yes, and to help maintain that independence that you're
Yes.
accustomed to.
Yes.
Well, routine in the general life, getting up, making breakfast, whatever, helps.
Yes.
But then,
Because then, with a
Repetition.
repetition,
yes,
I remember it, and it's not a actual action to remember. It's there.
Becomes automatic.
It becomes
So let's talk
yeah.
about that. When my mom first arrived 6 weeks ago to my home, I have a split plan home, meaning that we have some pocket doors. It was a two-family home, I think, initially. So we have some pocket doors that isolate the main bedroom on the one side of the house, and then the other side of the house, which can function independently. And then on that side of the house where my parents are staying, we have a bathroom door and three bedroom doors. And we have the door that's leading to the rest of the house. So now you're dealing with 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors, right? And
In a little
in a
space
yellow
like this,
square.
right.
Yeah, but it all enters into a small landing, and from that landing you can then enter into the rest of the house. Now think about this: your orientation in space. And I talk about the three wide door principle so
Yes,
often
yes.
in a senior living community or in a new home. If we bring our loved one into our home, which I did, right? And if I am not aware where that door is leading, that can create so much confusion to me in my space because those doors look the same. So let's talk about routine and repetition as it relates to that spatial awareness and to the doors. Initially, I was thinking for my mom, I'm going to put a name, our bedroom, Sarissa's bedroom, Sumeri's bedroom, living area, bathroom. because they're all, well, one is a white door, but the rest are all wooden, solid wood doors, so they look the same. But my mom was able, over 2 or 3 weeks of repetition and routine, to learn which doors are her door, which door leads to the living room, and which door is the bathroom. So allowing her to fail and repeat and fail and repeat, she was able to learn the strategy and the routine of where to go in the house. And now she's navigating the house without questions. And where there's so many doors to navigate, and my dad likes to sit out on the porch, she can now navigate from the porch through the whole house, go use the bathroom or go to her own bedroom and come back out. And the reason why we keep those doors closed is we have split air conditioning. So it's not even, we cannot just leave the doors open for easy access, right? And we have dogs. So there's all kind of little entrance, little barriers for easy access in the home. And she was able over 3 weeks to navigate the space and learn the space without challenges. So that is good news, that someone who's living with dementia can still learn new tasks with repetition, with routine, with writing down in a memory book.
Can you speak to what it felt like coming into a relatively new environment or an old environment that you haven't been in a while, and having to learn and recognize those doors?
At first, the whole memory thing got me. You know, I was worried about it. I was frustrated about it.
In our home, when you came to my house
No,
6 weeks
the
ago.
general things that then. But after a lot of praying and help and organizing my own brain and deciding that I can still function, I can cook and bake and do whatever is necessary, get up and dress myself and wash and whatever. So why am I now worried about something that I forget? You know?
When you first arrived at Sira's house, was that confusing for you with the doors?
No, not really. I asked her, where do I go now? Once I went to the wrong door.
Okay.
But
But once
made
you
peace with it.
okay,
Yeah.
but
I'm
now
going
you
to
know. But
now I know.
and that makes you feel good.
And that makes me feel good.
But
Yeah.
the point you're trying to make is that you don't let it frustrate you
No.
when you're
anymore.
continuously trying to find, because you just keep on trying,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
eventually you know you remember something.
I will get there.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Even if I take 1 or 2 miss turns,
So
I won't go into town with a car in a strange town.
Okay.
I won't do that because I don't trust myself to, even with, I will flat. Maybe.
Get anxious.
Get anxious, yeah.
Do you have other activities or things that you purposefully approach and engage yourself with that you think are challenging for you and you like to challenge yourself that way?
Yes, I do.
What are some of the things?
I do quite a lot of sewing, for instance.
Okay.
Make my own clothes.
How about your phone? What do you have on your phone?
Oh, I have all kinds of games on my phone, but memory type games.
Okay.
You know?
And to Josh's point from before with
Yes.
mathematicians, and I wanted to mention, I forgot. I forgot.
That's
See?
kind of where I was coming
That happens
from.
to the rest of us.
Oh.
Is that the math games, including those passions, being able to do some of the banking activities to help oversee some of the math in paying bills, being involved in what's going on with the banking.
So
But
just because it's a memory challenging game,
Yeah.
it may not be the most appropriate or impactful with that particular individual because it doesn't resonate with something of their past.
correct, right.
Yes.
So my mom loved the math related type games on our phone, but she has quite a few different games that she engage with, and it
Words finding and
word
things like that,
finding
you know.
and puzzles, and
Yeah,
card
puzzles
games and
yeah.
math, Sudoku games,
Yeah.
block games, three-dimensional visual spatial games.
Yes. Nice.
So, Dad, let me ask you, as I know you two have a very unique relationship as far as maybe with the demographic that we serve, where you've been together for 62 years, you've been married for 55 years.
Why did it take you so long to ask her?
We were too young and too stupid.
Well,
and too poor.
if I proposed the first year, it wouldn't have worked because we were in standard 9.
At school.
So grade,
At the grade 11.
Grade 11.
And then after that, I went to college and she went to university.
In the same city,
and you
but
used
different
to. Do you want to?
campuses.
Do you want to tell our audience a little bit how you courted her? Because neither of you had a car. You couldn't even drive at the point at that.
No, I only. My wife taught me how to drive. I bought a car, but I couldn't drive. And then.
And we were not married then.
Yeah, we were not married yet. And then she taught me how to
Was
drive.
that your pickup line? Hey, sweetie, can you come teach me how to drive this car?
Yeah, it went well. And even today, if I do something, she says, you must remember I taught you how to drive.
Got a little leverage there. You used to get on your bicycle.
Yeah, yes, that's my transportation. I had a bicycle, a very old one, without gears and other fancy stuff. I had my 2 legs, and that was pumping, and I drove quite a few miles to get to my beloved one. And yes.
And then he lived on that side of the town, and we on this side. And his school was on this side of the town, and our school, this was a boys' school, and the girls' school was on that side of the town.
You crisscrossed each other.
So if we have to go to a function at my school, he must come and fetch me from he lived fairly next to the school.
Yeah.
To fetch me at home on the other side of town, and then we walked back to his function or whatever, and back again, and then he gets on his bike and he goes back to his home again.
You do what you gotta do.
And
that was quite.
My mother did not like Susan. She always said to me, that's not the girl for you. But I was so hard-headed. And I just kept on going to this girl, which I thought that was the girl I wanted to marry.
She was a lady, you know, she had pressed hair, done hair, everything. And then stuff like that. Proper
makeup
and fancy clothes, even at home. Not fancy, but she was also well read always. And I never had done hair, you know what I mean? Just at that stage, you need to have to tease it.
Oh, goodness.
And then
spray it. And I couldn't stand that spray.
And you didn't like that.
Makeup all over it, you know, then you realize.
And the makeup as well.
And they were very poor. They were very poor. My dad's parents, as well as my mom's parents, were very poor. So it was not from a point of wealth, just from a point of presentation, right?
That was what was important to her.
That's what was important to her. Do we want to take a little break?